Welcome back here with Happy Popeye. So, Popeye, do you remember the cartoon Popeye? And then we had Pluto and Olaf. Well, what you always found was Popeye and Pluto were always trying to impress Olaf. I always thought Popeye was with Olaf. Anyway, it always seemed like a competition. And we had two characters with Popeye being genuine. Uh, Everything he did was through the love that he had for Olive. While Pluto, I think his name was, did everything that was against Popeye to make him look bad, but winning Olive over, but never doing anything for her. Where Popeye, all his actions was to help her, to make her feel good. Where Pluto's was to make a mock of Popeye or joke of him so she could have a laugh at him. And if you ever have to be in a situation where you're in a battle with someone to win their love or friendship, whatever, I suggest move on. Don't waste your time or energy, uh, especially if you're being that honest one, like Popeye. As if that person can't see you for who you are and wants to laugh and joke with the person that's making fun of you, well, does that not tell you what an airhead she is? As Olive was. Um, she looked past everything and was immature. She didn't see how much Popeye loved her and what he would do for her. And yet someone else steps in to make a joke of him, uh, also stopping Popeye from doing what he was doing for Olaf. So she is actually laughing at somebody not getting done what she wanted done, which seems so airhead. Sorry, I just came across Popeye. It came up in my head, so I checked it out. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll do a video on that. And it makes me think about things in life. People. How people are. People will make fun of and jokes of things to hide the truth. To take people's minds away. But if you're looking closely enough, you can see that the Joker is always hiding who they are. The scared, fearful one. That's not to say that you don't joke and have a laugh. No. But if that's all the person does, to make a joke of using other people, what are they doing there? They're making themselves look good by making someone else look small. Now that ain't so funny, is it? And if you think it is, what if that was your children? You seen them in the playground and people were making fun of your child. Wouldn't be so funny, would it? What if you were that one that was being made fun of? Wouldn't be so funny, would it? And if you were the girl side, or boy, it could be either this day and age, it could be any gender. But whoever you are and you're the one that's being chased. Oh, and that's another thing. Never chase. That's just ridiculous. If you're meant to be, you're meant to be. If you go chasing, it's not meant to be. It won't last. Obviously, if you liked someone, then you would make it clear. But you don't go running after them and after them, especially if you haven't got that in return. So if you've made it clear that you would like to be with a certain person and they haven't made it clear back to you, then don't bother chasing. It's a waste of time. A waste of time and energy. Anyway, on that note, they're a part of the problem. If they're going to be missing what is actually happening in your approach and what you're doing for them, and joining in with the laughter of downgrading who you are, does it not make sense? Move on. Don't be stuck where you are with being a fool for letting two fools make a joke of you, like Olive and Popeye, or Pluto making a joke of Popeye. Yet he was the honest one and doing what was right and trying to do something that was caring and loving for Olive. Yet she laughs at him because of Pluto's tricks on Popeye. Does it make any sense for Popeye to stick around? No, makes none. Yet we get thought in these picture frames, cartoons, and think of films and things like that. Keep fighting for her love. No, you're not gonna get it. She's gonna be laughing at you all the time. Fuck her. Move on. There'll be another Olive, probably a better one down the road. Someone that'll actually think about you in return and do something for you in return. In supporting you like you would support her, as Popeye was supporting Olive. In everything that she looked for, he went to support her. And Pluto would jump in, make a joke of it, or trick him up some way so he'd be a laughing stock. Now, it makes no sense. But they teach us to be that way, to make a joke and laugh at other people. But that's not funny. Just so you can feel good about yourself, but you're really a piece of shit. A fearful piece of shit, because you're hiding who you are, because you don't have any other characteristics that places you anywhere on a scale but being an arsehole. An arsehole scale is just like a wee button, and that's where you are if you're gonna act like that, lowering somebody else so you could feel good. It just says everything about who you are as a person. And why would Olive ever be with you? She wouldn't. There'd be no reason. So she'd be ending up alone. Popeye would have moved on, found his wife, whoever, and you would also end up alone. So Popeye would have found his love elsewhere. Popeye would be happy. And then you get the two who were laughing, alone, unhappy. Sounds a lot like life. So, why is it like life? Because they created on a screen for you to act it out. I don't know if you've been around people like I have, um, and observed them. I could see TV programs, uh, people reading things, and how that becomes a part of their life. I've seen people read stuff and bust out crying and asked, "Are you alright?" Like, "Oh, I was reading this and that." And I was like, "Right, is it upset? Oh, yeah, it's upsetting." And yeah, it's just. I'm like, well, what the fuck are you reading it for if you're getting upset? Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, doesn't make any sense. So, be careful what you're letting into your life. In here, especially in here. If you can't control what's going in here and it's affecting in here, you're getting emotionally upset. You need to start looking at what you're putting in here because it's damaging if you're getting emotionally upset and that it's drawing up tears. Or maybe there's something damaged within you that you need to look at and face that so you can move on and not be letting things outside of you damage you in here. And that goes to the same as Popeye. What was happening outside of him, he was letting it happen instead of just moving on. You have to be very careful of what you let in because it's going to affect you in some way or another. Maybe good, maybe bad. Only you will know. And how you interpret it. And how you carry it with you. So I like to think of things like I used to be big into dark stuff and not so much now. Even like films with shootings and things like that. I've still watched them, but I tend to stay away from them because the intent in the whole action film where there's loads of shooting and that is to shoot at people. Nothing more, but to shoot at people. Why would you want to do that? So, first off, why would I shoot at people? Oh, I've got to find out a reason now. Can't just shoot at them without having a reason. Got to look at them now and see what's wrong. What do they not like that I do like? You know, you have to make up things and create things for this to happen then. And then you start looking for these things in the movie. Why is he not like, oh, he's done this, he's done that. Right, who's done things like that in me in my life? It doesn't make any sense to follow things that are dark and then expect to live in the light. And the dark isn't a place of happiness. So if you're watching dark stuff all the time, reading dark stuff all the time, interacting with dark stuff all the time, you're never going to find the light. You got to stop and look at all that darkness that's within you from all that darkness that you've picked up and cleared by diving in. But the thing is, you've got to realize that you're fighting to get away from all that dark that you've placed inside you. And you're grabbing onto more darkness because it gives you lifts. But all you're doing is feeding yourself more darkness within, which makes it harder to deal with yourself instead of just rising from it. By going in there and seeing what's already in there, clearing it out. In here, the mind, and which will be affecting you in here. And clear that out instead of adding more to it and switching on the light. You're probably not into, if you're into this dark way of being and all, go and watch a love film, for example. Don't know, but some film where a love story, and you probably won't like it, but see how it affects you and the difference it is. And as I say, you probably won't like it because it's not something that you watch. It's not something that's in there within you. It's something that you need to place like a seed so you can grow off it. And because you won't like it, it'll be a change and it'll be something different. And maybe you'll shed a tear in that hope that could have been you in that moment. But you're so far distant from it, you want to deflect it away from you. Oh, that was shit. But if it was in your life, it would be beautiful. And you probably know that, especially if you shed a tear. But you want to hide from it in your darkness. So you'd rather throw on an action movie or something, loads of shooting, saying you can think of going down the road and don't like him or whatever. You know, it don't make any sense, and that's all mostly them action films do carry is being shooting guns. Why does it have to be that? Is there nothing more in life? I believe there is. There's a lot more in life. Fun and games. Not in fun and games. You're destroying lives and you destroy your own. Anyway, this is just my view. Each to their own. But if you want to be happy, you got to be careful of what you're putting in here and here. And that comes to everything that you do in your life. From reading, writing, watching TV, playing games, electronic games, physical games, everything that you do. If you're not aware of you and all that's around you, then you're open to let them dark forces in to affect you. So it's going to be harder to turn on that light. This happy chappy. Love and peace. Stay bright.